So I'm looking for something in the woods and hopefully I'm going to find it on the edge of this little brook somewhere. But where is the question? Hello, my name is Martin and welcome back to another video. Welcome to Bottling Wood and welcome to Wigan, because that's where we are. We're in Bottling Wood in Wigan. This that I'm studying is the Yellow Brook. Apart from the fact that it's not yellow anymore, and I'll tell you why it's not yellow anymore. It used to run sort of like that orangey brown colour that was full of iron ore from the all the disused mines round here, or the mine workings round here. But I'm here to show you an ancient scheduled monument. Now don't hold your breath, because there's not a great deal to see, but just next to the camera, and I'm going to show you now, is something that I think is fantastic. So I can't wait to show you this. But like I say, don't get too excited. An ancient scheduled monument. I'm just watching my steps here in the Yellow Brook. Look at this. Oh, I've already fell in the mud once today, so I might as well fall in the brook. This is the Great Haigh Sough. It's basically a channel, it's a pipeline, it's an ancient sough that drained the mines round here. Quite a few mines, the water drained into this sough and it runs out here into the Yellow Brook, hence why the Yellow Brook was probably called, many years ago, the Yellow Brook. But it's old, it's very old. It dates back to the 1600s. And although there's not a lot to see here, because it dates back to the 1600s, that's why it's a scheduled ancient monument. It took us a while to find it, but what a fantastic thing it is. It's a brick outer, and then it goes on for quite a way, and I'll show you. I've got a bit of a map, I can show you where it goes. But it's incredible. Let's get the camera in there and get some lights on, shall we? Got the torch? Let's shine it in and have a look in this ancient monument. So this is the Great Haigh Sough. Construction was started on this thing in 1653 and it was completed in 1670. It was constructed by Sir Roger Bradshayg, who owned the land and the mines in the area, and they built the sough under his estate. Now 1653, I looked up who was on the throne in 1653 and it was King Charles II, can you believe? So to me this thing is absolutely ancient. It was built under his estate to drain the bell pits and the mines in the area and discharge the water that plagued the pits into the Yellow Brook. You can see its route there, and as I say, it's 1,120 yards long, and you can see some of the brilliant names of the pits: Dogwalk Pit, Park Pit, Gilbert's Close, Sandy Beds Pit, and finally you'll see the outlet into the Yellow Brook in Bottling Wood, which is where we've been filming. Now it was very successful, so it was later extended in the 18th century to serve other mines in the area. The part of it that is actually an ancient scheduled monument is the entrance at Bottling Wood. Even though it's got a concrete top on it, there's two brick pillars either side, and the first 2 metres, the brick line first 2 metres, that are the actual ancient scheduled monument. Now I don't doubt that a lot of this still exists, but it's the first 2 metres that I'm showing you here that are the ancient scheduled monument. Beyond that you'll see it goes to concrete, and I'll explain that in a moment. Construction of this thing was done by miners with picks and shovels, and it's reported that during the construction they encountered black damp, which was a mixture of gases and a lack of oxygen that would have extinguished the flames. Apparently it's got 10 shafts along its length that were designed for the construction and the removing of spoil. Okay, so I'm right above the sough here, and when I shined the torch in you could see the concrete, and I don't want you to think that, you know, the thing isn't as old as it is. I think this section here just away from the brook is concrete, and it's something to do with that. I think that's a pumping station that returns some of the water up to the reed beds above. So that's why there's a little concrete section, but obviously the rest of it and the bit at the end there that you saw is absolutely, like I say, ancient. Now you'll see behind me there is a little green shed type thing, and from what I understand, and my knowledge is limited, that green shed is a pumping station that takes the water from the Great Haigh Sough, pumps it uphill to these reed beds here. You'll see them there, 3 of them, and they show the typical ochre stained water that's consistent with mining activity. They purify the water and it emerges in this next scene here. So this little cascade of water here has come from reed pits up on the hill over there. I'll probably show you on the map. And the ochre stained, the iron stained water goes into those reed beds, gets purified, runs down here and joins the yellow brook down there. And that, I think, is the reason why the yellow brook is no longer yellow, or it was probably more of an orangey brown stain anyway. So as we're walking through Bottling Wood, I've just realised, looking at the terrain, why that sough, the Great Haigh Sough, works. Because the land is higher either side, and the sough is obviously quite low down here at Yellow Brook level, and it must be, I'm not sure if some of them were drift mines, so it being much lower, the mine water is pouring into it, and or the mine water used to pour into it way back in the 1600s when it was built. Mine water poured into it and it came this way and emptied its contents into the Yellow Brook. So just something as we're leaving, we've clocked and gone, this is why, because the sough is so low down, because I couldn't get my head round the way it worked. Just a bit of extra info there for you. Right, so from the Great Haigh Sough, this ancient piece of mine drainage system, we're going to go down the road now to another place to do with mine drainage, and I'm going to show you something else, but obviously not as old as this thing. So let's go down the road now to a place called Aspull. So here we are, Aspull, just down the way from the Great Haigh Sough, and this is the remains of the Aspull Pumping Station. So like I say, this is the remains of the Aspull Pumping Pit. It opened in 1871 and it closed in 1932. Now I'm researching this on a website called the Northern Mine Research Society, and it's very interesting, but it gives a hell of a lot of very technical information that I don't fully understand. So if you want to go and research it yourself, you can do. You'll find it one of the early hits on Google. It had 3 pumps here that were steam powered, and there was initially 5 Lancashire boilers here to power those steam pumps. Later some of those pumps were converted to electricity. There was also some tramways here as well, which I'll show you on the map, so I don't doubt to bring the coal in for the Lancashire boilers. It talks about gallons per minute, 540 gallons per minute pumped out. Well, one of the interesting things that it does say is that a lot of the water was pumped to the surface, but some of it was pumped to the Great Haigh Sough. However, following subsidence damage to the Great Haigh Sough, all the water was eventually pumped to the surface. So this thing actually had a relationship with the Great Haigh Sough that we've just been looking at. Anyway, lots of technical information. Pumps here, there's a shaft here, and like I say, later converted to electricity. So this is the old Ordnance Survey map of 1888, and you'll see there to the left the mineral railway that probably brought coal for the Aspull Pumping Pit. No trace of that remains now whatsoever. One thing to note is that even back then in the day when it was in full operation, it was quite a remote location, and now it's just hidden away in a clump of trees in the middle of a farmer's field. So anyone, if you do decide to go and visit, just remember there is a public footpath that you can walk down to it, but remember it's the farmer's land, and just be respectful, closing gates and all the rest of it, and watch the animals and everything. But yes, worth a visit. So looking round the place, it's actually stopped raining. Looking round the place, it just looks like a ruin. You'd be forgiven for wondering what it was, but if you come this way, there's been some serious machinery in here. Just take a look at this wall. Look at that. Look at that wall there, the way things have been mounted here in the stone. So obviously it's had the brick's been for the exterior, but the stone is what the heavy machinery has been mounted to. I just love that. That is just iconic. It just suggests heavy machinery, and I would imagine it was some kind of that kind of pump, I'm guessing. Believe it or not, there's no photos that exist of this place, or not that I know of. Maybe in someone's personal collection somewhere locked away in a drawer, but there's no photos of it. There's a drawing that somebody did, an engineer drew from memory, or I think it was based on another pumping station elsewhere, but such a shame there's no pictures of it. Would have been brilliant to come here back in the day, wouldn't it, and have a look around. Okay, so this is a drawing of the Aspull Pumping Station. Now, we need to be careful because it's actually a reconstruction, and it was done by an engineer, a Mr. Derbyshire. What he's done is he's obviously looked at the remains of the Aspull Pumping pit, and he's based it on similar sites in Britain, and he's drawn how it would have looked. And you'll see there's two kind of cantilever arms above a shaft that pumped out the mines in the area. So that's the nearest we've got to how it would have looked. I can't fully place that with what we're looking at, but I can a little bit. I think in the opening scene I would have stood maybe above the shaft, and that's where I was. But yes, that's the nearest we can get to the way the pumping station looked.
Right, I'm going to show you something over here. There's another building over there. I'm going to show you something interesting that's a little bit of interesting detail. Come this way. Mind the floor, it's a bit, you might trip up. Now this is some kind of outbuilding. Don't know what it was. Again, difficult to work out what everything did and all the rest of it. Well, come round here. I'm looking for something on these stones. Look at these stones, and again, my theory is that there was heavy machinery here, because we know that the stone blocks was mountains for heavy machinery. But look at this. Each stone block has got a Roman numeral on. XV, is that 11? X11, V11, is that, there's an X there. Come this way, mind these bricks. XX, XX, 111. So what's that about? What could that possibly be? Each block is numbered in Roman numerals. Well, the theory is that this was recycled from somewhere else, built somewhere else, taken down and brought here and reassembled. And so they numbered, unusually with Roman numerals, but I imagine a Roman numeral is easier to chisel onto rock or onto stone than an actual number with curves in and everything. But anyway, it's been taken down, we think, and reassembled here. A little detail that you'd miss, but I love the fact that each one has got a Roman numeral on. Amazing stuff, eh?
Okay, so just on this subject, I've read a passage here and it says, number 1 pump, Bull type pumping engine, 540 gallons per minute. This engine, reputedly built by J. Musgrove of Bolton in 1840 and second hand from another of the Earl of Crawford's pits. So whether this was a little pumping area and they've moved the actual base and the building that came with it, possibly, I don't know, but it offers a theory as to why you would number all those blocks of stone, wouldn't it?
And there's something over here. We're going to make a drink now. We've got a flask with us. There's something over there just at the main building. Can you see through the trees there? There's something over there I'm going to show you. So I've got the lad with me today. He's just making a brew. I'm not too bad now. It is a cold day because we're sort of like between Christmas and New Year here. He's freezing. These young ones can't take it, can they? They make you not drink?
Yeah. Freezing. Need to warm my cockles up. How much it'll go with this one?
2, I think. So, this is the theory. And again, I don't know this place or how it worked very well. I think this is probably where the main sump was, or the shaft was, because we've found something here. Just come and take a look at this. So I think these brackets on the wall up here held the whatever the pump was. Come and look at this. That underneath there's a shaft underneath there.
So, you know me by now. Let's take a look into the shaft.
Right, one last thing to show you before we pack up and go. It's getting freezing now. Come look at this. We'll go around that side, round here. Oh, so I've got some barbed wire here, and it's there for a reason, because this here is the remains of an old well, so I presume there's some sort of shaft underneath there. It looks like it's filled in, but I wouldn't particularly trust it. I'll try and show you on top of the well, but it is shown on the map, but I'll show you this, I'll show you the outer wall of it. So there you go, the Aspull Pumping Pit. An amazing structure. I just wish I could have seen photos of it or how it was back in the day. And of course, the Great Haigh Sough. So from Bottling Wood in Wigan, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I shall see you very soon in the next video. Bye for now. Guess who fell in the mud? Is it bad there?
Yeah, it's on your ass.
Oh, I've got to get back in the car now like this. We were coming through the field and I decided I'd go through what looked like the drier grassy bit, and I got my foot stuck and I literally got stuck and I couldn't move. He comes along like a brute trying to pull me out, pulled me over.
He fell over.
Is that my bag and everything?
No, it's